Hey guys, Mark here from Soarfly Concepts, and today is the day that I show you how to make um, specific ground polygons for prepared 3D. So P3D version 3.3 and above. Well, here we go. So this is our ground image with the detail layer on top. Now in the previous tutorial I mentioned you want to put the detail layer across everything that the aircraft can move across. I've done that basically, except for over here. I've just left this as it is because, to simplify things. There's not really a lot of pre-preparation that I go through. Actually, preparation does mean to pre. So there's not a lot that I do to prepare for these tutorials, but in this case what I've done is I've just continued from here all the way up here, runway as well. See, there's two different textures going on. There is a concrete texture and an asphalt texture. And we're going to leave it at that, to be honest with you, because I'm not going to do anything else. So this is 0.1 meters above the ground, which is 10 centimeters. It's about, what, 6 inches? I don't know. But yeah, just above the ground in SketchUp. So when you bring it into Model Converter X, this will already be above the ground, so you can see what you're working with, etc. So let's go ahead and export this and bring it into Model Converter X. Right, so here we are with our ground image. Let's go ahead and get rid of these black boxes, shall we? Highlight selected. Oh, crikey. It's going to be a guessing game, that, isn't it? I was right. Yay. I think I'm right again. I was. Okay, this is the trial and error section. And if I screw up, I'll just simply edit it out. You won't see it. Okay, I think that's everything. So, what we're going to do is we're going to do exactly what we did in the last one. We're going to save this as a model, and then we're going to convert it to a P3D ground poly. So what we want to do to save as a model is simply go into textures, and we want to select a save folder. So let's go into our flight sim library. Let's go into P3D, and we'll just call it UGSS. Let's go to that. I should just call it Stansted. Why not? I've got a lot of S's, seriously. Stansted. And we're going to go, you can use DDS if you want. I use DXT because reasons. Now all of these are going to resize to, I think they're going to go for 512, 256, I'm not sure. But either way, that's the size we're going to use, why not? So that's fine with that. It's not FS9, it is P3D. It is oh. Might help if I made a folder inside the Stansted folder called Textures. And Scenery. There we go. We're good. Texture. Okay, and just go ahead and click Save. And what Model Converter X will do is it will save the textures in a flight sim format, as in it will be the power of 2, and it will also be like the alpha maps and things like that will already be applied. So that's just going to take a couple of seconds to save. There we go. Oh, I was right. 512 to 256. Yay! Okay, So that's everything sorted there. Let's go ahead and export as a model. We want to go into Flight Simulator, P3D, Stansted Scenery, and we're going to be saving as an FSX MDL, simply because it's the same format all across the board really. FSX MDLs will work in P3D. Some FS 2004 ones will as well, but not all of them. So let's save as FSX MDL. Okay, create a model, crash tree not generated, finish writing. There we go. So now that's been saved in there. What we want to do now is just bring it back into Model Converter X in the MDL format. And as you can see, that's all sorted. Okay, if we zoom in a little bit, you can see our detail layer on the ground. That's very good. Let's go back into textures. Now this is the time consuming part with P3D. You have to make sure these have a specular color of black. Otherwise they'll be shiny, like they are now. As you can see, the ground image shines like it's made out of some form of material. We do not want that. We want that to be 0. So copy that one and paste it in there. See what I'm doing now? I'm just pasting 0, 0, 0 into the specular color, and that's all you have to do yourself. We shall come back to this action once I am finished. Now I won't lie, this can become very time consuming indeed. So once you've got it all done, the one main thing you really want to do is check to make sure they're all the same. So all the ground layers, it doesn't matter about these, like I said, just all of the ground textures, you want to make sure they are all 0, 0, 0 black on the specular color. Just pressing the down key. Oh, there's one I've missed one! Okay, let's go again from the top. And that is all of them. Good. Right, so that's everything sorted. What we can do now is focus on making a specular texture for the detail layers. Yeah, let's have a look. How many textures are there actually? Apron Stan, what's that then? Let's go like that. Just see where that highlight is. That highlight is nowhere. Cool. Must be underneath. Apparently. I don't know. Apron Stan. Somewhere. That's all that. I don't know where that is. Ah, it is underneath. We can get rid of it then. Let's hope. It was underneath. That's fine. Alright, cool. So, that's everything ready to go. Let's open up Photoshop and make ourselves a specular texture for this particular thing. And that one. So now if you remember anything from previous tutorials, you'll remember how to make a specular texture. So let's go ahead and find GSS, P3D, and we want asphalt and concrete. There we are. Okay, so I've had people say to me, how do you make specular textures for transparent textures, like this, for example? Because if we zoom in on this, you can see it's transparent. If we were to bring a layer behind it, and just paint, I don't know, just say paint red. It shows through. You can see where the red is. Well, there is one simple way to do it. Now let's get the fill, go for black, make a layer, a new layer, put it behind the image so it fills out in black. Now that can be used as a specular texture if you like, but there's a couple of things to do first. Number one is to desaturate the image, because why not? And that will give us that sort of effect. Another thing to do is to play with the brightness and the contrast. So let's go ahead and actually make a backing to that layer. Let's use that. Bring the opacity down a bit so we can see the details on top a bit easier. And now just join them together and Control Shift and U to desaturate the image again. Go into Image, Brightness and Contrast, make sure Use Legacy is checked, and up the contrast to your liking. You can even play with the brightness if you want. That'll do nicely. So that's our specular texture for that one. Control Shift and S to save. And just put underscore S at the end. It's PNG. Don't save as TIFFs when you're doing this sort of stuff, because although Model Converter X does accept .tiff, it doesn't. I've noticed it doesn't particularly like it. So Flight Simulator, P3D, Stansted texture. Just pop it into there and click OK. Depending on the size of the image, it might take an hour or two to save. And same goes for this one, so just... Alright, yeah, okay. So layer behind, go for fill color with black, why not? Oh, I'm saving as a TIFF. Let's try that again, shall we? And libraries. Libraries. The whole thing just froze up. It changed. At the same time, it didn't. Stansted texture. 1, 2, 3, 4 underscore S. And look at PNG. There we go. Save as. Okay, so that should be the most of Photoshop. You can make bump maps as well, if you want, but we're just going to be using TIFFs for now because reasons. TIFFs? No, specular maps. Oh god, it's going well. Right, so Asphalt SD. Let's go down to here. Specular texture. And it's going to be Stansted, Scenery, and it's our 2 PNGs. So Asphalt SD. Now, like I did on my specular textures tutorial, these are going to look awful until you tweak them. So I'll just put them both in for now. Concrete SD, go. So there are some noticeable changes. The first is the textures look disgraceful. So let's change that. Specular power map, 60. Same goes for you. There we go. That is very, very odd. Why is it cutting out like that? No one knows. That might be a problem. That could well be a problem in the future. Oh well. So, go ahead and save your textures. So, to there, material editor, textures, and just save as DXT. If you just click Save Textures, it won't save the ones you've already got. All it will do is save the wrong formatted textures. So in this case, Asphalt, Specular, and the Concrete Specular. So Save Textures. Go both of them are saved now. So export object, again FSXMDL, replace, and there we go, we're ready to place. So now in order to place properly, what you want to do is open Model Converter X. We're just going to use one we had before, so EGSS, which is missing. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so EGSS, in we go. And there's our coordinates. Because you remember from the last tutorial, it was the runway center point that I used. Exactly the same here. So let's copy that. Go back into Model Converter X, click on the little arrow near Wizard, go into Ground Polygon Wizard. My specular textures have done a runner. Have they not? They have. They're still applied. Well, there we are. Yeah, they're still there, that's fine. Got worried for a second there, couldn't see them. Yeah, that's all good. Okay, right, so, that. And Control V. And X. Rotate. Control C. Control V. Now this should sort it out by itself. So what we're going to do is we're just going to leave the layers as they are for these, and we're just going to bump these up to 12 because why not? I would recommend using layers above that. I think it's layer 24 and upwards. So you can get shadows on the ground and things like that, so it takes shadows properly. Now, what we want to do is just turn off group polygons. P3D version 2 selected, all textures are good to go. Yep. Now we're going to be saving as P3D format PGL. Yeah, we're going to be doing that, aren't we? Right, I have made a mistake. And that mistake is Model Converter X is not running as admin. Now, when you come to install the P3D SDK, the best thing you can do is install it in a folder that doesn't require permissions to use. That way, when you start Model Converter X, you won't have to run it as an admin in order for it to work. So, sorted. What we're going to do now is we're going to open up this airport again, but this time we're going to open it up into the P3D version. I do have P3D version 4, but Model Converter X is compatible, but apparently ADE is not. There is an update, but it just keeps telling me I'm up to date. I don't know why. Open airport. Let's have a look here. It's FSX projects EGSS. There we go. Okay, so I've turned airport backgrounds on, and I'm just going to go ahead and lay out a flatten around the area, just so everything's the same height, respectively. Flatten. There we go. And compile airport. Let's find the folder. eventually. P3D Stansted scenery. Okay, compile separate objects. BGL, compile. Alright, airport compiled. No. Okay, so that's ready to rumble now. So let's go into local disk. It is program files, Lockheed Martin, P3D version 3, Soarfly concepts, scenery. Okay, so everything ready to rumble in there. So just pop the Stansted folder over to that. Continue. And there's a couple of things in here we don't need, so like the MDL, don't need that, don't need that. All we need is the BGL files, so permanently delete those two, yes. And there's a couple of textures that we don't need in there either, that's the PNGs, just delete them. Very good. Okay, so let's open up P3D and see how it looks. Okay, so world, scenery library, add area, browse, prepare 3D, Soarfly concepts, scenery, Stansted, go. Now we're going to click OK, it's going to load again. Yay! 3%, 4%, 5%, 6%, 7%, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, it's going faster than before. Where has the sun got? Why is there no detail layer? Whatever. Ah, broke it. Okay, so I don't understand really. Right, so the detail layers worked up to a point. There's a big hole. Big hole. No one knows. That might be a problem. That could well be a problem in the future. Whatever. Let's pop it on the ground. Dudump. 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 Oh, good. You're going to load the outside of the aircraft now for me? Cool. Thank you. Alright, go forward. And go up. Up. There we are. 3. So if we have a nice look back, we can see the specular shine across part of the runway. You see what I mean? I'm not too sure what's happened there. I don't know why it has only given me a nice big hole. But I guess we'll find out at some point. That is a massive hole. What is going on with that? Runway lights disappear as well. It's like they're on, and then they're off. Is it the same for the other side? Yep, big hole. Big hole. I knew that'd be a problem. It's exactly the same place as it was before. Anyway. Alright, so let's go here. And yeah, you can see the shine is across the apron. Go down to have a look at the texture. It's very pretty. That look quite nice once everything's in place, it'll look really nice, to be honest with you. It's so weird. Why is that happening? You might want to make the specular layer, specular power map scale a bit lower. I've used 60 in this, and 60 is your sort of general building sort of specularity. But you can use, say, 30, 40, and it'll look better. Be a bit brighter. But yeah, that's how you do it. These are some missing runway lights. And a big hole in the scenery. I don't know what is going on. Can someone answer this? Can someone tell me what's happened? If you can tell me what's happened, I'll give you a free scenery. It'll be freeware, but it'll still be free. I'm actually joking. If you can tell me what happened, I'll actually give you something useful. Anywho. And yeah, so that's how you put specular maps onto your ground polygons. You can do the same technique for bump maps and Fresnel maps, and I'm pretty sure you can even click on precipitation and have that work as well. So you can turn on the reflections. Yep. My name is Mark from Soarfly Concepts. Like, comment, and subscribe. And if you didn't like the video, subscribe anyway, so you can be notified when there's a new video you don't want to watch. So, with that said, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye. I've got to think of a better outro, seriously.